Gas prices headed north. New tonight on Our News, live at 7. The Petroleum Retailers Association says prices at the pumps will likely keep climbing, telling motorists to buckle up for more hikes. But first, the police chief reports that major crimes plummeted by 21% in 2023. We've got a closer look at the stats. This as a violent dispute near a West Bay Street club turns fatal with a homicide. Then in Our News at 7:30, a mother who set her daughter ablaze in 2019 is released. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. With gas prices teetering just below $6 in New Providence, Vice President of the Petroleum Retailers Association, Vasco Bastian, is predicting a steady climb ahead. Motorists are being urged to brace themselves. We'll get to those fuel prices in just a bit, but for now, the country's murder count climbing to 42 just hours ago after police say a man was gunned down just steps away from his home. According to police, the deadly shooting happening shortly after 4 o'clock this afternoon in the Yellow Elder community. Family members on the scene identified the man as DeMarcus McIntosh, who, according to investigators, has had some run-ins with police. We've got the full story coming up in Our News at 7:30. Now, this latest murder comes on the heels of the police commissioner releasing crime statistics for 2023 that revealed that crime is down overall. Berthany McDermott has the breakdown.
Murder was down 110 in 2023 to compare to 128 in 2022.
That's a 14% decrease according to the Royal Bahamas Police Force's crime statistics for 2023. Of that 110 murders, Fernandez says 72 of them were solved. That translates to a 65% solvency rate. Fernandez also revealing a large number of assailants were on bail.
75 suspects that were on bail committed murder. 33 victims were killed while they were on bail. 25 victims were killed while they were being electronically monitored.
Fernandez also revealing a 21% decrease in serious crimes, a 26% drop in crimes against the person, and a 19% drop in property crimes for the year 2023 when compared to 2022. There were 368 armed robberies compared to 555 in 2022. The weapon of choice are high-powered rifles. Fernandez recently called for stiffer penalties for those convicted of gun trafficking.
We know that they still continue to come through the couriers and trickling now to the family of islands, where it will eventually come here to New Providence, where most of the serious crime continue to occur.
As for illegal drugs,
we had a total of 4,598 pounds of cocaine seized in 2023, 10,386 pounds of marijuana, and 266 plants, marijuana plants, were seized throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We arrested a total of 1,504 persons.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Berthany. And while crime is down overall, there is one particular category that we're learning is up. Berthany has more coming up on that in Our News at 7:30. And as investigators tonight probing that shooting in Yellow Elder that we told you about this afternoon, the country's 41st murder happening this morning after a man was gunned down outside a West Bay Street club. Police say the 33-year-old victim was in the parking lot when he got into an argument with another man. As the argument escalated, police say the suspect pulled out a gun and shot the victim several times before escaping, while the victim died at the scene. Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez says too often conflict plays a role in the senseless violence.
We continue to say conflicts. And I forgot to highlight the latest murder, what happened a few hours ago at a club shortly after 4 a.m. this morning at a parking lot at a club in the Western District, where an individual was involved in an altercation with another male, and he was shot and died on scene. So again, conflict as well continue to rise, and we continue to pay attention to that.
A Supreme Court jury has acquitted a man accused of murder in a 2021 shooting. Orville Forbes was accused of the September 28 shooting of Kevin McKenzie. Prosecutors say the victim was on the porch of his aunt's apartment on Windsor Lane when a gunman, alleged to be Forbes, shot him multiple times. 7 of the 9 jurors found the prosecution had not proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt, and Forbes was acquitted. Senators honoring the memory of the late Don Saunders, a Free National Movement former MP who tragically lost his life during a botched armed robbery last month. Senators from both the FNM and the Progressive Liberal Party spoke of how Saunders had left a lasting impact on their lives. Leader of opposition business in the Senate, Darren Henfield, reflected on Saunders' multifaceted persona beyond politics. Having served alongside Saunders in the House of Assembly during the Minnis administration, Henfield emphasized that Saunders transcended mere political roles.
A colleague, a friend, and a fellow soldier, a freedom fighter who was so violently taken from us a few short weeks ago. Don, as he was affectionately called, wore many hats during his short time here on earth. He was devoted to the work of his church, the Anglican community. He was a devoted family man and a father par excellence. He was an active member of the legal fraternity, and he was a political fellow who did all he could.
The former parliamentarian who served as deputy chairman of the Free National Movement at the time was tragically shot outside a club in Gambier Village. Last week, 2 men were charged with his murder. According to police reports, Saunders was shot in the neck when he attempted to brush away the gun pointed at him during the robbery. Senate Vice President Barry Griffin recalled his initial meeting with Saunders 14 years ago as a law student and described him as far from combative.
We bumped into each other very often, spoke a lot about politics. And one thing I can say about Don was that he was never adversarial. Although we disagreed on politics and policy, he was always someone you can have a frank, straight up, sort of rational conversation with, and I always appreciated that about him. It was obviously a shock to me, as it was to the nation, to learn of the gruesome way in which he died. No family in the Bahamas or anywhere should have to deal with that.
And back now to the cost of fuel. As gas prices on the brink of hitting $6 in New Providence, the Petroleum Retailers Association warning of an impending surge. And just what's fueling the spike? Well, the vice president of the association tells us in less than 5 minutes. But for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is standing by in the Weather Center. Ian?
Thanks, Kendino, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Monday evening forecast. Currently outside our studios, we're under few clouds and breezy. 76 degrees. Winds are from the east at 16 miles per hour. Comfortable feels like temperature of 79. In our nation's second city, we have 75, continuing in Marsh Harbor as well. Allenstown 74, 75 in Nicholson and Governor's Harbor, 76 in Great Harbor Key and in the capital. In the central Bahamas, we have 77 in Camp Bay, 76 in Arthurstown, Coburn Town, and in Georgetown, Exuma under some rain, cool temperatures, 78 in Deadman's Key, Long Island. For the southeast Bahamas, we have 79 in Duncantown, as well as Selectable Bay, Auckland, 78 in Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, 77 in Abrahams Bay, Maguana, 80 in Providenciales, and 82 in Matthew-town, Inagua. First look now at our satellite and radar imagery at this time. Few clouds across the northwest and central islands. We have that stationary boundary in the vicinity of the central and southeast Bahamas. This should continue to trigger some pockets of showers. Stick around, we'll tell you more of the system straight ahead.
Thanks, Ian. And still to come on our news, gas prices reach near $6 in New Providence as the Petroleum Retailers Association warns motorists to brace for a further surge in prices. Plus, former MP Frederick McAlpine raises concerns about Freeport's future as government and Port Authority clash over $300 million debt. That's coming up when our news returns.
The digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
As gas prices in New Providence hover just below $6, Vice President of the Petroleum Retailers Association, Vasco Bastian, says it's likely prices at the pumps will continue to rise. Bastian says motorists should brace themselves.
If it continues on the current track, we could see this going straight through summer, because once we get into summer, we tend to fly more. We tend to do more road trips in North America and Europe. And then you also have a lot of students going back to school, so a lot of families are doing a lot of traveling. So this might last into the summer.
And just what's causing prices to soar? According to Bastian, it's several factors, and he says one of them is supply chain challenges.
Getting into the summer months, gas prices tend to start to increase. That is a direct correlation because of the crude oil increase in the Middle East and stuff going on in the Middle East. So that's what we're saying. We're seeing a slight adjustment, very, very minor, but there's a direct correlation for what's going on in the Middle East, and we're getting into the summer months.
And now to Grand Bahama, where former Pine Ridge MP Frederick McAlpine joining a growing list of people weighing in on the ongoing drama between the Davis administration and the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Marlena Leonard has his candid comments in this report.
Tensions are still high as the government continues to insist the GBPA owes them over $300 million, something the GBPA flat out denies. Former MP for Pine Ridge Frederick McAlpine commenting on the issue this morning.
It appears, even though it may not be the case, it is perceived that the government is operating as if they are proceeding towards a hostile takeover.
McAlpine asking how things in Freeport would be managed if the government took over responsibility for the city.
While we would admit that we are not fully happy with the Grand Bahama Port Authority at present, we sure do not wish to have the government of the Bahamas or any government taking over the responsibility of our roads, water, and garbage collection. If the government takes over, are they going to replace our water company with water and sewage? Will the Grand Bahama Power Company become Bahamas Power and Light? Will the roads be cared for by the Ministry of Works?
He also says he feels the money grab seems desperate, considering the hundreds of millions of dollars the government gets from Freeport's taxpayers annually. When asked why he feels the Davis administration has chosen now to act,
I think they're doing it because either they're broke, they're desperate, or they seem to be taxing everybody in the Bahamas, so I guess they want to put some more taxes on us here in Freeport.
he says one can see a preview of how the government would handle Freeport by looking at areas they already manage. As for his opinion on the current management of the GBPA,
however, to be fair to them, as I've indicated, they have seemed to have done more in the last 2 to 3 years than they've done in times past.
reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as former U.S. President Donald Trump calls his ongoing trial political persecution. Plus, Israel reconvenes a war cabinet after Iran's attack on Sunday. This as the UN chief calls for maximum restraint. When our news returns.
Transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Former U.S. President Donald Trump appeared in a Manhattan court on Monday for a criminal trial related to a hush money payment to a porn star. The trial, expected to last until May, marks the first time a former president faces such charges and could impact his bid for the White House. Before the proceedings, the 77-year-old called it quote, political persecution, end quote. Trump must attend the trial where jury selection will take about a week, followed by witness testimony.
This is an assault on America. Nothing like this has ever happened before. There's never been anything like it. Every legal scholar said this case is nonsense. It should never have been brought. It doesn't deserve anything like this. There is no case, and they've said it. People that don't necessarily follow or like Donald Trump said this is an outrage that this case was brought. This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And again, it's a case that should have never been brought. It's an assault on America.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened a war cabinet meeting in Tel Aviv on Sunday evening following Iran's launch of long-range weapons towards Israel earlier in the day. The escalating tensions between the two Middle Eastern adversaries, coupled with the potential involvement of the United States, have heightened concerns in the region. Global powers and Arab nations have urged restraint to prevent further escalation. Reuters reports the attack by Iran came in response to a suspected Israeli strike on its consulate in Syria on April 1st, which resulted in the death of top Revolutionary Guard commanders. Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged maximum restraint following Iran's attack, emphasizing that the acts involving force are prohibited by international law. Speaking at a UN Security Council meeting Sunday, Guterres warned the Middle East is on the brink of a devastating full-scale conflict and called for defusing tensions and de-escalating the situation. The escalation follows months of clashes between Israel and Iran's regional allies sparked by the conflict in Gaza.
The Middle East is on the brink. The people of the region are confronting a real danger of a devastating full-scale conflict. Now is the time to defuse and de-escalate. Now is the time for maximum restraint. I stated the following last night, and I quote, "I strongly condemn the serious escalation represented by the large-scale attack launched on Israel by the Islamic Republic of Iran this evening, and I call for an immediate cessation of these hostilities."
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was April 15th. Then in our news at 7:30, recently released crime stats show rape cases surge over 10% in 2023. The police commissioner urges caution among young women. Plus, this is out of control. A looming gas price hike sparks anger among motorists as prices at the pump already approaching $6 per gallon. The story when our news returns.
Digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome back to Our News. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was April 15th. Take a look. On this day in Bahamian history in 1893, locals in Grantstown rioted, nearly destroying the police station and freeing a prisoner they believed was unjustly held. According to the National Archives, the uprising stemmed from resentment toward newly recruited foreign police officers. Later, with tensions escalating, an English gunboat was summoned, leading to arrests and trials without further disturbance. Then in 1910, Ralph Francis Alnwick Gray, former governor of the Bahama Islands, was born in New Zealand. He was also governor of the Turks and Caicos Islands until 1968 and served as the last governor of Northern Ireland. Gray died on October 17, 1999. In 2010, a fire destroyed the Imperial Mattress Company on New Providence. Located on John F. Kennedy Drive at the time, the mattress company began its operations in 1973. The company still operates today on Mackey Street. And 5 years later, in 2015, a fire ravaged the straw market in Georgetown, Exuma, prompting government promises of aid to affected vendors. Fire officials, lacking a fire truck, used makeshift vehicles from the Bahamas Electricity Corporation and the airport to battle the blaze, which threatened nearby buildings but caused no injuries. The suspected cause was an electrical malfunction. After months of speculation from Carnival revelers, our Danielle Miller received exclusive confirmation that there will be a concert following this year's Road March. The Road March is set for May 18th. Past performers included Wyclef, Kes the Band, Masha Montano, Allison Hines, Destra, and so many others. Palantra Media Rep is Trevor Davis.
Carnival concert is confirmed for May 18th. Palantra Media, once again, will be bringing you the events for that evening, along with several other promoters. And so I can safely say that this year's Carnival, again, will be full of excitement and entertainment.
And we are told that organizers are currently planning to host the event on Clifford Park. They also tell us that more details for the event will be released by the end of the week. Davis gave us a snippet, though, of which entertainers we can expect to see on stage this year.
We have confirmed and fully booked Patrice Robertson a band, Najee Boy, who's the latest sensation when it comes to the hip music that's playing over the radio airwaves now, Continental. We also have some of our very own, like Wendy. We also confirm international DJ, Global Dose. And we have a lot more to be added as we speak now in process of confirming some more artists to be added to this lineup.
All right, that sounds like a lot of fun. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, remember you can visit ournews.bs or Our News Bahamas on Facebook. And we're on TikTok too, so be sure and check us out there. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is our Marlena Leonard with the latest headlines. Marlena, good to see you.
Good to see you. Welcome back. How was
you.
your vacation?
Much needed, but hey, good job holding it down last week.
Thank you.
It was an excellent performance.
It's not easy doing your job. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Well, coming up in 7:30, recently released crime stats show rape cases surge over 10% in 2023. Plus, a looming gas price hike sparks anger among motorists. Here are your latest headlines.
Tonight on Our News, rape numbers on the rise. First tonight on Our News live at 7:30, the nation's top cop says reported rape went up over 10% in 2023. His advice for women coming up. And petroleum retailers are pleased. They tell us talks with government about a profit margin increase on fuel are shaping up very well. This as pressure at the pumps. We hear from motorists as gas prices near $6 again in New Providence. We're bringing prices from stations across the island. And later, the Department of Social Services call for more adoptive parents when Our News live at 7:30 returns.
Here we go. loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm on the Fairfield and Devon sites spans just over 30 acres, and once completed, will
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Marlena Leonard. The country's murder count climbing to 42 this afternoon after police say a man was gunned down just steps away from his home. According to police, the deadly shooting happening shortly after 4 this afternoon in the Yellow Elder community. Here's Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings on the scene.
The victim was walking along Nelson Street when a small Japanese vehicle pulled alongside, and a male emerged with a high-powered weapon, opened fire on the victim, striking him multiple times. He succumbed to his injuries on scene and was examined by EMS personnel.
Family members on scene identified the man as DeMarcus McIntosh, who, according to Skippings, has had some run-ins with police. With no motive at this time, the chief superintendent making this appeal.
Again, we see a small Japanese vehicle, and I make an appeal to members of the public, especially those persons who know that their residents or their neighbors do not possess small Japanese vehicles, and you see a Japanese vehicle at the rear of someone's home or on a property, we're asking you to give us a call.
And this latest homicide coming on the heels of the police commissioner's crime stats for 2023, which reveal a more than 10% jump in rapes when compared to 2022. While the police commissioner was unable to say how many of these incidents were resolved, he's cautioning young women to be cautious of their surroundings. Bethany McDermott reports.
While the police commissioner says overall crime is down, he also reveals there were 61 rapes in 2023, which he says is an 11% increase over 2022. 8 of those victims were tourists. Overall sexual offenses stand at 204 for 2023, the same as 2022. Even more startling is the number of victims who knew their attackers.
50% of the victims knew the assailants. They knew the assailants. When you look at the unlawful sexual intercourse, 134, as I indicated, a decrease of 4% over 2022.
Meanwhile, 97% of rape victims were female, while 3% were males. 72% of the victims were under 35. Additionally, 95% of the suspects were males, and 73% of the suspects are under 35 years old. Fernando is advising parents to pay close attention to their children. Here's why.
We noticed the trend online that the youngsters will make contact with individuals, adult males, and then they will meet, and then the act happens.
The police commissioner was unable to say how many of these incidents were resolved. Fernando also had multiple safety tips for women going on early morning jogs.
Make sure that the areas are well lit, that you're walking, running with some other persons involved. Those who maybe lives alone, to please pay attention to your surroundings.
But that's not all.
Don't catch ride with strangers. Please, don't catch ride with strangers. That's why you have bus transportation or you have family members that you could reach out.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
A woman who killed her 1-year-old daughter by setting her afire has been released from a mental hospital. Philippa Marshall was committed to the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center after she was convicted of murdering her baby Felicia Marshall following a trial in 2019. Then Senior Justice Bernard Turner ordered her detained at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center for 6 years unless a psychiatrist decided she could be freed sooner. Justice Neil Braithwaite ordered Marshall's immediate release after Dr. Kirk Christie said she was ready for outpatient treatment. On December 28, 2017, Marshall set her daughter afire after being told to do so by demons. Little Felicia died from her injuries in February 2018, 47 days after the incident. The standoff between the government and the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association could be ending soon. There's been months of back and forth with the government over a profit margin increase on the fuel they sell. The government currently gets $1.70 out of every gallon of gas, while the petroleum retailers get 54 cents on gas and 33 cents on diesel. Association VP Vasco Bastian says he's more than confident with the way negotiations are shaping up.
We had a meeting a few weeks ago with the Minister of Economic Affairs, Mr. Michael Akides, and when we walked away from that meeting, I felt much better than I felt in the last 2 years. So I think we're getting to where we need to be. He has some concerns, and we still have some concerns. And I think in short order, something might happen for both the petroleum retailers and the wider community.
Retailers repeatedly expressed concern that these margins aren't sufficient to cover expenses, as sustained high fuel prices have meant significant decreases in their profits. The government's position has always been to find a happy medium for both retailers and consumers. An increase in margins could mean paying more money at the pumps. But when will there be a resolution that benefits everyone? Bastian had this response.
I can't give a timeline exactly as to when this will happen, but I know all negotiations with the government and with the minister looks very favorable for both ourselves and the government. And I think it's just a matter of government moving things around to make sure that at the end of the day, the retailers are happy and the government makes sure that they do what's in the best interest of the Bahamian people.
A recent hike in prices at the pump not sitting well with some motorists who are feeling the pinch. With the cost of gas per gallon just below $6 at some stations, they're sounding off.
Terrible. It's just not making no sense. I need at least with $60.
And how often do you fill your car?
Well, I don't fill. I get gas every day just to keep it top up, because of the high prices.
So every day you have to take
Every
gas?
day I have to take gas, every day.
Talk about that.
$25, $30, sometimes twice a day.
The average cost of gas per gallon in New Providence is $5.91 per gallon. At Rubis, gas is $5.96 per gallon, while at Esso, it's $5.92, and it's $5.85 per gallon at Shell. In the face of escalating prices, this resident says it seems no one can catch a break.
Every time I come to the pump, I notice the price keep going up. I don't know what's the reason. Gas is very expensive, and I work very far. I have to be to the gas station like 3 times a week. Gas is very expensive, and the government have to do something about the gas price.
The spike in gas prices is usually due to the supply chain demand, and this resident says there's no use complaining.
If the supplier price go up, the dealer price have to go up. The government tax remain the same as far as I know. So it's one of those things, we can't do anything about it. We don't manufacture gas, so we can't control it. If we pay more, if we buy it for more, we gotta charge more. That's only common sense to me.
We had nice weather conditions in the capital today, but what can we expect for the rest of the work week? Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Ian?
Thanks, Marlena. Welcome, everyone. Currently outside our studios, we're under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 76. Feels like temperature comfortable 71. Winds are from the east at 16 miles per hour. Satellite and radar imagery at this time. Few clouds, mainly across the northwest Bahamas. High pressure remaining the dominant weather feature. some cloudiness associated with that stall-out funnel boundary in the vicinity of the central and southeast Bahamas. We'll tell you more about this straight ahead.
Still to come on Our News, a former F&M MP declaring his intention to return to politics, but says Bahamians are tired of both parties. And 30 Grand Bahamians taking part in the 16th cohort of the Mandatory Workforce Preparation Program launched today. And later, the call for adoptive parents. The Department of Social Services says over 150 kids are looking for loving homes. Find out if your home could be the right fit when Our News returns.
And the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies?
Former Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Frederick McAlpine, says he intends to return to frontline politics, but he's not aligning himself with a particular party. McAlpine was previously a Member of Parliament with the Free National Movement during the Minnis administration and was fired from his post as chairman of the Hotel Corporation in 2018 for breach of cabinet manual and ministry procedure after voting against the F&M's proposed VAT increases. As for his return to politics,
no, at this time, I'm not aligning myself with any particular party. There is so much going on politically. The best place for me to be right now is on the outside looking in, and I'm going to watch as things continue to progress in this country. Politically, quite frankly, people are tired of both political parties. People are really tired and wary of both political parties. But the reality is, we are where we are, and it is what it is.
But the former MP insists he has still been there for the people of Freeport, even if he hasn't been vocal in the press.
I've never left frontline politics. This is a marathon. And people, I guess, expected me after beating the F&M and barely losing to the PLP in Pine Ridge, figured I would be talking. People get tired when you talk too much, you know. They get wary. This is a 5 years run. This is a marathon. So I didn't find it necessary to be talking from that time to now. I pick my battles, and hopefully I pray I pick them wisely.
The National Training Agency launching the 16th cohort of the Mandatory Workforce Preparation Program today. The launch took place at the CoLab Center in the Harold de Gregory Complex in Grand Bahama. Manager of the National Training Agency's Grand Bahama office, Kenneth Miller, says this year is a larger cohort than usual.
This particular cohort is one of the larger ones in recent history. We have 30 eager young people in the program. Considering the more clerical and educational factors of this cohort is more so females than males. However, we have some young men who are coming up in the ranks for this particular cohort.
He says the first 4 weeks will consist of soft skills training before training becomes more specified in the later weeks. Miller tells us some of the things that participants can expect.
Some will be going to Ebenezer College and will be given training in the skills of a non-instructional teacher's aide, while the other larger component of the group will be doing office procedures, city and guilds training with Ms. Thea Moss. So this particular cohort is more service industry or skills-based for clerical and educational realms.
When our news comes back from the break, we're taking a look ahead at the weather for this week.
Coming up in sports, high school nationals concludes with relay rivalries and a big decision for Dayton Albury in the transfer portal.
And you don't have to be a millionaire to be a good adoptive parent. Find out if you're the right fit as social services calls on members of the public to open their hearts and homes. The story when our news returns.
And the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Some of the top high school track and field teams booked their ticket to the Penn Relays, and Dayton Albury enters the transfer portal. Here now with Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors, is Ronaldo Dorset and John Marknut. Ronaldo?
Thanks, Marlena, and welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. St. Augustine's College once again emerged as the front runner at the National High School Track and Field Championships. In the combined team scores, the reigning BAISS champions took 3 of the 4 contested divisions, the under 15, under 17, and under 20. The GSSA Junior School champion CH Reeves Raptors won the under 13 division. The Big Red Machine's largest margin of victory came in the under 17 girls. Their 353.33 points finished over 67 points ahead of second place Queens College with 226. The Comets finished second to the Big Red Machine in each of their division wins, while Tabernacle Baptist finished second to CH Reeves in the under 13s. On the final day, the relay rivalries took center stage and spots at the Penn Relays were up for grabs. The Big Red Machine also won 3 of the 4 relay prizes in the under 20 division, earning all expenses paid trips for their wins in the girls 4x1, 4x4, along with the boys 4x4. Queens College won the boys 4x1. 14 new national records were set over the 4 days of competition.
A major target in the transfer portal, Dayton Aubury made its much anticipated decision for its upcoming season. Aubury will join the Utah State Aggies in the Mountain West Conference and headlines the first class under new head coach Gerard Calhoun. The Aggies come off a season where they claimed the Mountain West regular season championship and advanced to the second round of the NCAA tournament. They finished the season number 22 in the AP poll and number 20 in the coaches poll. At his lone season at the Division I level with the Queen's University Royals, Aubury was named Newcomer of the Year and earned all-conference third-team selection. In his 30 games, he averaged 17.4 points, 5.9 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.3 steals per game.
Bahamian players are gearing up for the NBA postseason. Buddy Hield and the Philadelphia 76ers are the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference and will host the 8th seed Miami Heat in the SoFi Play-In Tournament Wednesday, April 17th at 7 p.m. The winner will secure the 7th seed and face the number 2 New York Knicks in the first round. Eric Gordon and the Phoenix Suns are the 6th seed in the West and will face the 3rd seeded Minnesota Timberwolves. Newly acquired Kai Jones and the LA Clippers are the 4th seed in the West and will take on the 5th seeded Dallas Mavericks.
VJ Edgecombe had the opportunity to showcase his skills with the top prospects in the world. Edgecombe finished with 17 points and 5 rebounds for the world in the 98-75 loss to Team USA at the 2024 Nike Hoop Summit in Portland, Oregon. The 6'4" commit displayed the explosive athleticism and sharpshooting abilities that has the fan base in Waco, Texas excited for the upcoming season. Edgecombe's world team included 5 high major college commits and the number 1 player in the high school junior class.
That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10th year seniors. For John Marknut, I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, could you be the right fit? Over 150 children are looking for a loving home. The Department of Social Services now encouraging more people apply to become adoptive parents. Plus, find out the weather for the week as our Ian McKenzie returns to the Weather Center when Our News returns.
Transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome back to Our News. Joining us again is meteorologist Ian McKenzie with your extended weather forecast. Ian?
Thanks, Marlena. Welcome back to Extended Weather. High pressure dominating weather conditions across the northwest and central Bahamas. The starlout frontal boundary is transitioning to a cold front, and it should push out of the area through Wednesday. Boating forecast across the northwest Bahamas. We still have a caution out for those swells. Winds northeast 10 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 4, but up to 6 feet offshore. Low tide at 8:24 p.m. tonight. High tide at 2:54 a.m. tomorrow morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, again caution in those swells. Winds be northeast 15 to 20 knots. Seas 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Here's a look at your national forecast. And in your extended forecast, high pressure will remain large and in charge. A dominant weather feature across the area through the week. We're looking at those temperatures in the low 80s, bumping up into the upper 80s by the end of the week. Low temperatures in the low 70s. That's a wrap on your evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks, Ian. Well, more foster and adoptive parents are needed for the over 150 kids in the Bahamian Child Services System. Child Protection Month is celebrated in the month of April, and at a press conference raising awareness of the month, social services officials raising that special call to the public.
There are over 150 children under the care of social services, spread out over 7 facilities in Grand Bahama, Cat Island, and New Providence. Acting Director of the Department of Social Services, Charlemagne Fernander, says they're hoping for more of those children to be able to find permanent homes.
It is always preferable to have them placed in a home in the community. Institutions are available or are necessary where it's not possible to place children in homes. So we want to encourage persons to come in and make application to our placement unit, which is downstairs in the same building at Prime Plaza, if they wish to become foster adoptive parents, and then we will go through the process with them.
Fernandez says while there is a steady stream of people applying to adopt children, they often request infants.
I think everybody has a right to make an application for what it is that they want, but I want to encourage the general public to pay attention to these children who are slightly older and maybe almost adults.
Social Services Minister Miles Larota also calling for inclusivity when choosing to adopt a child.
There are children who are born with some form of disabilities, and they deserve the right to have a loving, caring home just as much as others, probably even more. I think it's one thing to have the state, me being the minister, responsible for these wards or these disabled children, but the state could never do the job of a loving home.
Fernandez says it's vital that people don't count themselves out prematurely because of what they think it takes to be foster or adoptive parents.
I would like to point out, a lot of people think they have to have so much money to adopt. No, you just need to be an ordinary family with ordinary circumstances. You don't have to have a mansion on a hill. Any ordinary person can make an application once they have that commitment to the child, clean police record, in relatively good health, can come in and make application. And you can adopt more than one child at a time. You can adopt siblings, for instance.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Marlena Leonard. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.